Welcome to the Washington Building Congress Craftsmanship Awards, featuring the Star Awards and the Craftsman Hall of Fame.
Thank you for joining us for the 65th Annual Washington Building Congress Craftsmanship Awards presentation. My name is Emerson Tier, and it is my honor to serve as the 83rd WBC Chairman of the Board. I'm proud of this exceptional program that presents a unique opportunity to recognize the individual skills of the hard-working men and women in our industry. These are the true unsung heroes who kept us moving forward over this past year. We're pleased to present this comprehensive 2021 Craftsmanship Awards video presentation for your viewing pleasure. This professionally produced program features all the components of the live event, including recognition of our sponsors, opening video, Hall of Fame induction, recognition of individual Craftsmanship Award winners, Star Award nominee videos, and the announcement of the Star Award winners. I'd like to congratulate all the 2021 winning craftsmen and thank our generous sponsors and nominators for the Craftsmanship Awards Committee. This event would not be possible without your ongoing support and participation. This year, we're inducting the 14th WBC Craftsman Hall of Fame class. The Hall of Fame prominently recognizes the best craftsmen in our industry. It is my pleasure to introduce WBC past chairman and foundation chairman Brett Snyder, who will present the 2021 Hall of Fame induction.
Thank you, Emerson. Each year, up to 5 craftsmen may be nominated by the WBC Craftsmanship Award Committee to join the Craftsman Hall of Fame. Established in 2008, the Hall of Fame currently includes 44 exceptional members. The annual selection of inductees is based upon a number of awards a craftsman has received, time working in the industry, and other special factors. It is now my honor to recognize the following outstanding craftsmen to be inducted into the Craftsman Hall of Fame. These individuals have proven over the course of their careers to be leading examples of what it takes to stand out in our industry. The 2021 Craftsman Hall of Fame inductees are Joel Kabamban, Woods and Plastic, and Jose R. Lopez, Finishes. Let's take a few special moments to enjoy the Hall of Fame inductees videos.
The Washington Building Congress is pleased to present the Craftsman Hall of Fame. This honor is in recognition of enduring commitment, exceptional skill, quality craftsmanship, and extraordinary dedication.
My name is Joel Glenn Cabanban. Everyone calls me Joey.
My name is Jose R. Lopez.
Grew up in Charleston, South Carolina. My father was in the Navy. My mom was a local. Stayed there till I was in my 20s. Moved up here and still here.
Nací en El Salvador, me crecí en El Salvador hasta 26 años. He vivido el área, solo en esta área todo el tiempo.
I got into a VOTEC class in Moncks Corner, South Carolina, and the instructor saw some ability in me, so he took me to some competitions, which we won, district and state, and I really enjoyed the field, so I pretty much stayed with it throughout my life.
Un amigo de mi mismo lugar, de El Salvador, me dijo que si quería ir a trabajar con él a la construcción desde el 85. Desde entonces nunca salí de la construcción.
So I went to work for Gaithersburg Cabinetry. I've been there for over 20 years. When I started with Gaithersburg, it was fairly small, a handful of employees, 10, 12 maybe. So everyone would measure, build, finish, sand, deliver, and install. As the company got bigger, we all got isolated and got specific fields.
Cerca de 20 años en Lorton Stone. 20 years. En mi trabajo yo soy un finish, hago pulir, polish, muchas cosas, parchar, pulir.
I think the most fulfilling part of my job is to take someone's idea and turn it into something that's real, something that they're proud of because it was their idea to begin with. So basically turning their idea into a product that they can use or show or be proud of.
Lo que me hace seguir trabajando es porque siempre solo eso he hecho desde que vine a este país. Entonces la rutina de levantarse uno a las 4 o 5 de la mañana, todos los días. Y entonces uno ya se impone que tiene que...
One of my favorite jobs was the Mount Vernon Library, just because of the historical value of it. We had a very short timeline. Other jobs that I've done has been almost top secret that you can't talk about, but it has to be done for the security of the nation. One of my fondest is the Discovery Museum in Baltimore, Maryland. We basically built a ship in the shop, and it had to go in a truck, be delivered to the job and reassembled. That was a pretty good one.
My favorite is a Martin Luther King Memorial, White House, Capitol, Pentagon, Washington Monument. Muchos trabajos, es un montón de trabajo.
One of my most fascinating jobs was the Jefferson Hotel because it had such a short deadline and it was very intricate. So in order to put out that quality of work at a short time and do it and be successful was a challenge and fun. The Jefferson Hotel actually won a Star Award, which made it even more worthwhile. That it was recognized by the Washington Building Congress, and that's probably one of the other reasons it was so intriguing and fun for me.
My name is Carolina Lopez, and my dad's being inducted this year, Jose Lopez. He's very dedicated to his work. Even on the weekends, he'll still be getting ready. Sunday, he'll start getting ready for work early for Monday. He really enjoys it, and he's always talking about it with his friends, with his family. We all know all the projects that he's going through. A couple weekends ago, they finished the World War II Memorial, and he took me, we went walking, and he took me and showed me all the things that we're doing and the stuff that he needs to go back to finish and everything. So he's always very proud, and he's always showing it off.
Whenever I have someone in training or who's working with me that's younger or just learning the trade, I always try and tell them how rewarding this line of work is and what you can get out of it. You get out of it like anything that you put into it.
I think he takes it really important because he understands that not everyone in the whole company gets them. And he always tells me, oh, they selected me for this, and he comes and he's very proud of what he does.
Yo me siento importante, siempre he sentido importante en el trabajo porque yo veo que ellos me tratan bien a mí, pero cuando me dan el premio de venir aquí me sentí más importante.
When I walked into the lobby today and saw the pictures of the people on the wall in the videos, I kind of felt like I was in my place because there's no 20-year-olds in the WBC Hall of Fame. I've been in the industry for 43 years, so it's really appreciated and it's really quite an honor to be here. It's something that I couldn't get here without all the people that taught me before and the people I still learn from with, working every day.
It is with great pride that we present to you this year's inductees to the Craftsman Hall of Fame.
What an amazing tribute to our new Hall of Fame members and our great industry. Mr. Kabamban and Mr. Lopez, please enjoy your commemorative plaques, and congratulations to both of you.
On behalf of the Washington Building Congress leadership and staff, thank you again for supporting the 2021 Craftsmanship Awards Program. The Craftsmanship Awards Committee organized the inaugural awards program in 1956. The WBC Awards Program has become one of the most recognized moments in our industry. We are proud to host the premier event honoring the individual skills of craftsmen. Over the last 64 years, 13,200 men and women have been recognized for their individual craftsmanship on more than 3,400 winning entries. The WBC Craftsmanship Awards Program has come a long way since the 7 initial awards were presented in 1956. It is my pleasure to introduce the 2021 Craftsmanship Awards Chair, Joe Dobbs of IBEW Local 26, along with Vice Chair Lynn Maya of Clune Construction. Thank you for your noteworthy contributions towards making the Craftsmanship Awards Program a major success again this year.
Thank you, Emerson. Lynn and I are pleased to serve as co-MCs for the 65th Annual Craftsmanship Awards presentation. Before we provide an overview of the results for this year's program, we would like to recognize my fellow Craftsmanship Awards Committee, members Karen Cotton, Cammie Fitzpatrick, Sean Frazier, Bob Fries, Christine Heffernan, Jesse Keene, Greg LaRosa, Bryce Riley, and Nick Salvi. Your active participation is greatly appreciated.
I'd also like to extend special thanks to WBC staff members Steve Kenton and Rita Reese. Let's once again recognize the significant contributions of the sponsors who helped make this event happen. We genuinely appreciate your support. Thank you for sponsoring the 2021 Craftsmanship Awards Program.
The Craftsmanship call for entries was sent to a wide group of industry firms last December. We received 278 nominations in 10 trade categories from site work to finishes. A complete list of categories and subcategories is available for review on the WBC website. With the outstanding support of 120 volunteer judges, 43 teams convened in April to evaluate all entries. 243 were judged in person and 35 virtually. The scores were compiled, results tallied, and 90 winners were selected based upon the judges' evaluations.
Following the determination of award winners, a separate panel of 3 judges was selected to evaluate the Star Award nominees. 8 of the top winning craftsmanship entries were nominated to be considered for the top level recognition. I would like to acknowledge and thank everyone who volunteered to judge this year. Your support is vital to the success of the Craftsmanship Program.
Lynn and I will be announcing the Craftsmanship Awards winners in 4 groups, with each group including 2 to 3 entry categories. The 4 group presentation segments will be preceded by 2 Star Award nominee video segments. Group 1 winners will include the categories of concrete, doors and windows, and electrical. Group 2, Finishes and Masonry. Group 3, Mechanical Metals and Site Work. Group 4, Special Construction and Woods and Plastics.
Following the presentation of award winners, we will be announcing the 3 2021 Star Award winners. It's now time to enjoy your first 2 Star Award nominee videos in the categories of Special Construction Stone Carving, Dwight D. Eisenhower Memorial, and Concrete, Cast in Place Concrete, District Wharf Phase 2, Horizontal and Parcels 6 and 7.
Welcome to the Eisenhower Memorial. Today specifically, I know you guys are looking at the John Stevens shop stone carving. What we did here with Nick Benson and his crew, John Stevens shop, is we set up a little kind of mini shop here and covered it for them so they had a conditioned little space, and they hand carved every letter that you're going to see today on site here. But let's go take a look at some of these. So this area here is the medallion for Dwight D. Eisenhower as the president. Nick and his crew did these letters for us here on site. The typeface that these letters are in is a custom typeface that Nick created for this job. It's called Eisenhower. Nick went through a lot of iterations of this typeface for them to create the custom font that they wanted here on site. The color that you see inside of the letters, that was also a custom blend color that we did a lot of mock-ups for to be able to get the perfect color that they wanted. So here's some more of is Eisenhower's first inaugural address. We put these panels up and built a scaffold here and carved these in place here. And then here in this column is, like I said, the 5-star general insignia, and then some info about him being the Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces. The last bit of carving that we have is the homecoming speech. This is the speech he gave in Abilene, Kansas, and this was a late addition to the project. When it's wet, a lot of the colors really come out also. It looks really nice when it looks great now, but when it's wet, you get a lot more contrast. It's really cool.
My name is Jason Ryan. I'm a project executive with Baker DC here on the Wharf project. This is obviously a big job in town, unique job in town, high profile. If you're not that familiar with it, we're bound by the Washington Channel, and we're also bound by the Green Line. Some of the unique work was working with the requirements of WMATA and the supportive excavation to keep the tunnels from falling into the site. So there was some very significant supportive excavation and vibration requirements for the metro tunnel itself, to the point where we had to pour the foundation walls that would hold the metro tunnel back after the basement was complete. So we had to go back underneath and pour those walls afterwards, just because of the requirements, the supportive excavation, and all the sophistication that went into that. So that's something unique you don't see every day.
As well as the sequence of how we poured the mats and everything like that. Because of the tunnels there, they didn't want the tunnels floating. So there was a certain amount that they could excavate, and then we would have to pour with the vibration isolation on top of that. So there was lots of sequences with multiple trades there to get us to the point where we had to get it completed.
This building here, this is what they call Parcel 8, and it's got 2 wings. The southern wing steps back while the northern wing is cantilevered out. So the whole thing is opposite. One steps in, one steps back. The river over here, we got the metro over here. The slabs in the middle is what kept those from doing this. So we had to get those slabs in to allow them to pull all the steel, the rakers, and everything else.
So these are some of the pieces, as you can kind of see with the pallets that are left over. So all the testing they did for vibration, they used that to determine what density needed to go under that footing or that mat. If you're looking at the mat, like I said, it looked like a tie-dye shirt. You had the green, and all of a sudden it turned into red, and then it had a couple small areas of purple, because that was the highest density of vibration there. So it just turned into layout as well as installing, so to make sure it was in the right spots.
And we had to interpolate where that occurred so that we put them in the right place, because if you put something that's not dense enough where you're getting a lot of loads, you're going to get building deflection. So it was very critical that we got the right density of material in the right places. So that's kind of the overview. You can see the square footage and the numbers that we have here. There's a lot of work went in place in a short amount of time.
We are excited to recognize the first set of award winners in the categories of concrete, doors and windows, and electrical. This segment is sponsored by Clark Construction Group and Singleton Electric Company.
In the category of concrete cast-in-place concrete, Freddie Flores, Mike Ham, Dustin Horn, William Rivas, Cody Scott, Joe Wiley, with Baker DC LLC. Project District Wharf Phase 2, horizontal and parcels 6 and 7. In the category of concrete, cast-in-place concrete, Jose Somoza Galdames, Salvador Hernandez, Oscar Martinez, Dimas Morales, Conroy Smith, Michael Vargas, with Miller & Long Co., Inc. Project American University Hall of Science. In the category of concrete, cast-in-place concrete, Yair Estrada, Oscar Flores Joya, Edwin Lozano, Mario Portillo, Carlos Rivera, Chris Schuster, with Schuster Concrete Construction. Project City Ridge. In the category of concrete, cast-in-place concrete, Alfredo Flores, Willie Urquilla, Jose Celaya, with Clark Concrete, and Oscar E. Guevara, Robert Marty Lyons, Morgan Yates McNeil, with Miller & Long Company. Project Reston Gateway. In the category of concrete, precast concrete, Ramon Carranza, Luis Garcia, Samuel Gutierrez, Ray Hess, Mark Stevens, Jeff Taylor, with American Stone, Virginia. Project UMD Engineering Building, The Idea Factory. In the category of concrete, precast concrete, Armindo Benitez, Jorge Diaz, Jorge Medero, Mike Randall, Juan Reyes, Neri Velasquez, with Arbin and Carosi. Project Crossing. In the category of doors and windows, specialty features, Mario Alvarez, Juan Mariscal, Khalil Ruhana, David Smith, Jared Smith, Willie Spikes, with Glass Projects Resource Inc. Project 1901 L Street, Northwest Office Building Renovation. In the category of electrical lighting systems, Ian Boyd, John Carlin Jr., John Johnson, James Kilpatrick, Rich Lado, Rodney Miles, with C3M Power Systems LLC. Project Dwight D. Eisenhower Memorial. In the category of electrical lighting systems, Rick Jackson, Rich McCann, Chris Ostie, Ray Sabalo, Jason Sanders, Desmond Waring, with Heller Electric Company. Project Martin Luther King Jr. Library Modernization. In the category of electrical lighting systems, Candido Gutierrez, Robin Kaufman, Rob Martin, Tim Quillen, Nick Sames, John Witzman with Varco Mac LLC. Project, Leidos Headquarters. In the category of Electrical Lighting Systems, Robert Baldwin, Ryan Burton, Mark Dodson, Luis Esperanza, Veen Vo, with Power Solutions LLC. Project, Paul Hastings, DC. In the category of Electrical Lighting Systems, Jonathan Dorsch, Justin Lee, Jason Mervin, Chuck Rhodes, Thomas St. John, with Mona Electric Group, Inc. Project, North Wing Cannon House Office Building Phase 2 Renovation. In the category of Electrical Lighting Systems, Frank Buxton, Robert Hayden, Tim Nihanke, Brad Pribble, Jose Torres, with Rosendin. Project, Confidential Client. In the category of Electrical Lighting Systems, Danny Brees, Tracy Frazee, Yor Garcia, DJ Littleford, Robert Odom, David Thompson, with J.E. Richards. Project, NECA. In the category of Electrical, Power Generation, Distribution, and Switchgear, Alan Harrison, John Ligon, Tyler McVeigh, Travis Repass, Joey Richards, Dylan Rupard, with Varco Mac LLC. Project, MedStar Southern Maryland Hospital Center ED Expansion Phase 2. In the category of Electrical, Power Generation, Distribution, and Switchgear, Dylan Calloway, Matt Eade, Temple Hypes, Dave Kaplan, with Varco Mac LLC. Project, IFMC OR Renovations. In the category of Electrical, Power Generation, Distribution, and Switchgear, Christina Dandy, Chris Grimes, Mike Gunzelman, Greg Naurot, Al Swan, with Synergy Electric Company, Inc. Project, Architect of the Capitol, Rayburn Building Emergency Power. In the category of Electrical, Power Generation, Distribution, and Switchgear, Reed Bowen, Patrick Gardner, George Herndon, Sean LaSalle, Ryan Potts, Daniel Stamp, with Mona Electric Group, Inc. Project, Capital One Block C Podium. In the category of Electrical, Power Generation, Distribution, and Switchgear, Channing Crawford, Robert Crawford IV, Stephen Cross, Gary Downing, Danny Fallon, Tim Pierce Jr., with Power Solutions LLC. Project, QTS Project Acadia PH2A. In the category of Electrical, Power Generation, Distribution, and Switchgear, Mitch Andrews, Robert Hazychak, John E. Jenkins III, Paul Page, Jeremy Rodkey, Robert Walker, with Power Solutions LLC. Project, Raging Wire NTT VA5. In the category of Electrical, Power Generation, Distribution, and Switchgear, Matt Grady, Jason Mervin, Jeff Pollack, Jakin Skewkus, Thomas St. John, Solomon Thomas, with Mona Electric Group, Inc. Project, NIST Building 245 Modernization. In the category of Electrical, Power Generation, Distribution, and Switchgear, Randy Beasley, Tim Dulaney, James Lawrence, Adrian Smith, Charlie Sutton, with Singleton Electric Company, Inc. Project, Government Publishing Office, New Electrical Substation. In the category of Electrical, Power Generation, Distribution, and Switchgear, Chip Cates, Ralph Hepperly, Mark Neidart, Ed Phelps, with Singleton Electric Company, Inc. Project, Little Patuxent Water Reclamation Plant 8th Addition Biosolids Processing Facilities, Phase 1 and 2. In the category of Electrical, Power Generation, Distribution and Switchgear, John Armstrong, Bill Brandenburg, Edwin Mendez, Germán Pena, Rafi Sanchez, Tim Wyman, with J.E. Richards. Project, Verizon Colesville Gear Replacement.
Let's take a moment to view the second video segment showcasing this year's Star Award nominees in the categories of Finishes, Plaster, National Park Service Stabilization and Restoration of Monocacy Battlefield Historic Plaster, and Masonry, Exterior Stone, National Native American Veterans Memorial.
The Monocacy battle really changed the outcome of the Civil War, which is why there's such historic prevalence. It is really held near and dear to National Park Service. These buildings have been left open to the environment, no air conditioning, no heat, definitely have had a lot of water damage over the years. They were losing lath, they were losing plaster, they were losing everything. This was a strictly stabilization of the plaster, not really a restoration project. They wanted to start saving the plaster because it was, in most cases, it was literally delaminated from the wood lath about 90%. When you're told to preserve this plaster, save every square inch of it that you can, there's no room for error. So my project approach was to build these structures, push the plaster back up against the wood lath, go up in the attic, remove the floorboards, we saved the square nails, we labeled and numbered every plank. Each one of these structures was custom in each room. But you can see the extent of how much plaster we had to pour. But what this process did was it completely reattached the ceiling plaster and encapsulated the wood lath and rekeyed it back up. These ceilings are so tight now, they'll never fall again. Every single crack and crevice in all three of these buildings that we worked in all received multiple injections of consolidant. I can't even begin to tell you how many injections we did, thousands and thousands of injections. In some of the areas where the wood lath was no longer reaching from one side to the other, we provided blocking in there. Again, not because this is what we had to do. This was our suggestion to save as much of the historic fiber of these buildings as possible. Part of our scope of work that actually was defined is if there were pieces of plaster laying on the floor, we needed to identify them, put them back together, and put them back where they went. There was a wood grain in the plaster, and we would lay these out on tables and we would match up the wood grain. So it was kind of a big puzzle. And then I glued them all back together with plaster weld in bigger chunks, and then we started reattaching them back to the ceiling. All of our plaster mixes were matched to what the existing plaster was, is we used the same material, the same type of sand, the same type of plaster mix, the same type of lime added. You know, we mixed everything right there in the field. So this wasn't just a plaster job. This was a true labor of love for us to go in and do what we did. But yeah, it was just an enormous amount of work and craftsmanship to be able to preserve as much of the plaster as we could that was originally there.
The idea behind this whole memorial, the designer wanted to incorporate the idea of the 4 elements: water, earth, wind, and fire. So the flow of the entire path, starting here at these 2 stones, is designed to mimic the flow of a river. The earth was intended to be the benches and the seats around the area. Part of the benches were actually custom made with a finish to make them as rough as possible to represent that element. So all of these bends and all of these curves had to be precisely laid out in CAD and measured in the field, every single one, by one of our foremen. All of these walls had to be cut almost perfectly, because as you can see here, they're radial and they're curved up to the top, so they're conical pieces. So everything had to be cut by machine, specifically to specifications, and we had here these plaques that we had to fit in, and then in the field had to carve out sections here for lighting that you'd be able to see at night. So the central area, we have here more conical pieces that we ended up cutting. All of these had to be precisely fit with 3 different finishes on the stone itself. There was a high hone finish on here. This is the heavy finish, the heavy sandblast finish that I spoke about earlier to represent earth. All of these had to be precisely fit with 3 different finishes on the stone itself. There's the fountain itself. We had to install the stones perfectly level so that the water could have that interesting little effect there. A lot of long days for the engineer.
Now we would like to recognize our second set of award winners in the finishes and masonry categories. This segment is sponsored by J.E. Richards Intelligent Masonry.
In the category of finishes, ceramic tile and terrazzo, Kevin Diaz, Roberto Diaz, Alex Gabarrete, Wilson Hernandez, Walter Lopez, Tony Martinez, with Eris Tile and Flooring. Project Crossing. In the category of finishes, ceramic tile and terrazzo, Edgar Carreto Ramos, Jairo Castellaneos, Héctor E. López Pérez, Francisco Pineda Calix, with Boatman and Magnani. Project Brookfield Headquarters. In the category of finishes, ceramic tile and terrazzo, Michael Flores, Miguel Flores, Lisandro Guevara, Kevin Hernandez, Jose Rivas, Alcides Romulo, with Roman Mosaic and Tile Company. Project Martin Luther King Jr. Library Modernization. In the category of finishes, ceramic tile and terrazzo, Elvin Amaya, Juan Lara, Tomás Matamoros, Juan Blanco Pacheco, Jose Rivas, Alexander Goicochea Vargas, with Roman Mosaic and Tile Company. Project Franklin School Planet Word. In the category of finishes, ceramic tile and terrazzo, Mike Ganassa, Ronald Ganassa, with R. Ganassa Tile Co., Inc. Project Southern Regional Technology and Recreation Complex Aquatic Facility. In the category of finishes, drywall, Bernard Bork, Osman I. Enamorado, Domingo Avila Gonzalez, Luis Alberto Velázquez, with Commercial Interiors, Inc. Project Morgan State University's New Student Services Center. In the category of finishes, drywall, Salomón Horta Garcia, Jason T. Hurley Sr., Jose Francisco Portillo, Thomas Thornton, with Commercial Interiors, Inc. Project West Half Street Residential. In the category of finishes, drywall, Jose Augusto Garcia, Jose Luis Hinojosa, Francisco Ponce, Pedro Rosales, Francisco Velázquez, with Capital Drywall, Inc. Project Axon. In the category of finishes, flooring, Elmer Gonzalez, Antonio Pineda Hernandez, Oscar Pineda Hernandez, Sang I Ra, Sang K Ra, with CB Flooring. Project Crossing. In the category of Finishes Flooring, Jerry Cornett, Ray Duer, Francisco Graciano, Shin Yong, with CB Flooring. Project Martin Luther King Jr. Library Modernization. In the category of Finishes Flooring, Orlando Callejas, Elenilson Lopez, Southbrooks Lynn, Sprigg Lynn, Stephen Paulin, with Universal Floors, Inc. Project Thorson Construction. In the category of Finishes Flooring, Patrick Joy, Vassal Kikalo, Russell Sterner, with Mastercare Flooring. Project Martin Luther King Jr. Library Modernization. In the category of Finishes Flooring, Southbrooks Lynn, Sprigg Lynn, Stephen Paulin, with Universal Floors, Inc. Project Josiah Henson Museum Historic Restoration. In the category of Finishes, Painting and Wall Covering, Graham Armstrong, Felix Cespedes, Matt Lawler, with Sparkle Painting Company. Project Crossing. In the category of Finishes, Plaster, Nelson Rodrigo Berrios, Cirilo Tapia Fuentes, Maximiliano Soto Ledesma, Pablo Condori Perlas, Melitón Soto Quirós, Elmer Ferrufino Zurita, with ATS Studios, LLC. Project Martin Luther King Jr. Library Modernization. In the category of Finishes, Plaster, Ezequiel Oscosiri Claros, Cirilo Tapia Fuentes, Yuse Soto Montano, Vidal Soto Quiros, Anna Torres Smith, Elmer Ferrufino Zurita, with ATS Studios, LLC. Project National Park Service Stabilization and Restoration of Monocacy Battlefield Historic Plaster. In the category of Finishes, Plaster, Julian Davis, Jose Gomez, Ian Jenkins, Wills Mayo, Marlon Salmeron, Ricardo Santos, with Hales & Hoe, Inc. Project Elliott Hine Middle School Renovation. In the category of Masonry, Exterior Stone, Gilmer Alman, Maber Hernandez, William Orellana, Alfredo Ornelas, Tommy Palovich, with R. Brady Associates. Project Capital One Block C Performing Arts Center. In the category of Masonry, Exterior Stone, Jose Ramon Casal Campos, Antonio Chirino, Ernesto Machado, Mauro Narciso, Leonardo Bravo Reyes, Freddy Rios, with Lorton Stone LLC. Project National Native American Veterans Memorial. In the category of Masonry, Exterior Stone, Cándido Abundes, William Ángel Arevalo, Manuel Omar Hernández, Mauro Narciso, Iván López Cieiro, Antonio Jorge Díaz Silva, with Lorton Stone LLC. Project Arlington Memorial Bridge Disassembly, Protection, Preservation, and Restoration. In the category of Masonry, Exterior Stone, Sterling Gaston, Eric Holdway, Carlos Mariño, Juan Romero, Agustín Baca, Hugo Baca, with Lorton Stone LLC. Project Corpus Christi Catholic Church. In the category of Masonry, Interior Stone and Marble, Reynaldo Andrade, Ludwig Portillo, Crispin Urquizu, Denise Bilka, with R. Bratty Associates. Project The Wilson and the Elm. In the category of Masonry, Interior Stone and Marble, Eric Blanco, Carlos Blanco Romero, David Kirby, Francisco J. Mijango, Ronald Wondolowski, with Boatman and Magnani. Project Paul Hastings, D.C. In the category of Masonry, Interior Stone and Marble, Carlos Blanco Romero, David Fitchett, David Kirby, Ronald Wondolowski, with Boatman and Magnani. Project 250 M Street, DDOT Headquarters. In the category of Masonry, Interior Stone and Marble, Jose Garay, Victor Hernandez, Felipe Madureira, Ruben Moya, Zenon Moya, Wilver Zavala, with Rugo Stone LLC. Project Metropolitan Square Atrium Renovation. In the category of Masonry, Unit Masonry, Joe Caprol, with United Masonry Inc. of VA. Project Sunrise Senior Living Old Town. In the category of Masonry, Unit Masonry, Tom Hersack, Douglas Hoya, Aaron Lempen, Blake Papas, Michael Papas, Tranquilino Villegas, with Telligent Masonry LLC. Project 150 I Street.
It is now time to enjoy the third video segment showcasing this year's Star Award nominees in the categories of Special Construction, Scaffolding and Rigging, National Gallery of Art Work Area 9.3 Improvements, and Special Construction Roofing, Corpus Christi Catholic Church.
Okay, so for context, we're standing in the main atrium of the East Building of the National Gallery of Art. Our project includes the replacement of the 16,000 square foot skylight right above us. The skylight consists of 25 tetrahedrons, all laid out in one single isosceles triangle, and that geometry, the triangle geometry is mimicked throughout the East Building as a design theme. So the replacement of the skylight was to be done in such a way that would allow the gallery to remain fully operational while adhering to the strict security measures we had, the environmental control measures, the noise and vibration limits, the temporary waterproofing measures, and then above all, making sure that the irreplaceable works of art in the atrium we see remain protected. So Brand Safeway designed a scaffold and rigging system to meet all of these requirements. So there was a temporary scaffold tower that was built, and Brand Safeway transported material to the top of the scaffold, and they started building out the initial 250 square foot platform section from the top of the scaffold. They also custom fabricated 25 brackets that are mounted to the apex of every single tetrahedron. And these brackets hold the chains that support the platform. That the replacement of the skylight includes, every component of the system with the exception of the steel framing, right? So this system that we're standing on top is the last piece of the puzzle, I'd say, of Brand Safeway's scaffolding and rigging system. It came with first protecting the sculptures and then building the suspended platform. And then lastly, they assembled the gantry system above.
Very, very cool.
It is. It truly is. Yeah. I feel so lucky, and it's been a huge challenge for me. It's been a huge learning curve, and I would not have it any other way. It's awesome.
This is the Corpus Christi Catholic Church project out in Aldie, Virginia. It seats about 1,200 people, and today we're going to be looking at the roof specifically. Something that's significant about the roof, it's a lot of area. It's an 1812 slope, so it was a really physically daunting task. It was done by rough roofers. They had a large crew every day. So they had pick boards, they had a lot of lifts, boom lifts. They had mountain climbing gear that they used every day, and they took special care to put their tie-off points along the ridge so that any lines wouldn't overextend, so everybody was really safe during this project. And then the most significant part, my favorite part of the church, is the steeple. It's called a flèche. It's the French word for steeple.
There's really 4 tiers to it. Everything is made out of 20-ounce Freedom Gray. So starting at the bottom, those diamond panels, that's like a flat seam panel that we lock together. Everything you see there was fabricated in our sheet metal shop. And then it was put together on site. So there's a lot of little pieces that go into it. So those are all individual diamond tiles. They get locked together. So we have a receiver at the bottom. When we set that on the roof, the shingles came over, we have base flashing there, and then we slipped that bottom piece that you see, that strip. That's a counter flashing that we slipped in once the steeple's in place. But moving up from that, that cornice was all shop fabricated that goes around.
What I really like about the steeple and then the limestone particularly, they really pick up all of the different elements that are on the interior of the church as well. So like the coffered part of this arch here, the pediments, the arches throughout, it really is a testament to McCreary Architects. It's really cool how everything ties together.
But it's pretty neat having a structure with multiple aspects. So the beautiful design by McCreary, the really great execution by Forrester, a lot of the things that were done. People just love the building, the design. It's really one of those things that church is supposed to do, is just keep telling the story, whether my mouth is running or not.
It is now our pleasure to recognize the third set of award winners in the mechanical, metals, and site work categories. This segment is sponsored by the Berlin Steel Company and Steel Foundation.
In the category of mechanical, HVAC-Piping, Daniel Cabrera, Carl Hetzel, Chris Lacasse, Cesar Oliva, James Patton, with Shapiro & Duncan, Inc. Project 1770 Crystal Drive. In the category of mechanical, HVAC-Piping, Jordan Birch, Patrick Hedger, Dante Marchand, Jeff Powers, Bryce Remley, Ryan Thompson, with W.E. Bowers. Project Confidential Client, Ashburn Data Center. In the category of metals, metal panels, Rick Dickens, Alex Flattery, Dimas Garcia, Derry Miller, Dave Watson, with Tecta America East LLC Architectural Metals. Project 7900 Wisconsin Avenue. In the category of metals, metal panels, Bruce Chapman, James Evans Sr., John Johnson, Scutch Montgomery, Yoel Urena Vasquez, Mike Zadeski, with Alliance Exterior Construction, Inc. Project Longbridge Park Aquatics and Fitness Center. In the category of metals, ornamental metal, Fatima Campbell, Sean Dahl, Sean Dwyer, Candice Landolina, Aaron Weissner, the entire team at Synergy, with Synergy. Project Crossing. In the category of metals, ornamental metal, Josh Carlson, Dave Lloyd, Adam Mina, John Millsap, Zach Rutkowski, Jeremy Welch, with Landscape Forms. Project Crossing. In the category of metals, ornamental metal, Nick Hilbert, Travis Hausch, Jake Mumbauer, Logan Root, Justin Truxell, Jeremy Wilson, with Schickel Corporation. Project, Federal Realty Investment Trust Headquarters. In the category of metals, ornamental metal, Eric Franklin, Alex Grace, Jess Hamrick, Tyler Spooner, Robert Taylor, Andrew Walker, with Gutierrez Studios. Project, 1550 Crystal Drive, Phase 2B, main lobby, elevators, and terrace. In the category of metals, ornamental metal, Adam Bren, Stefan Bren, Maya Brumfield, with B&M International Steel Company. Project, 965 Florida Avenue, The Wren. In the category of Sitework, Landscaping, Ed Mauser, Brett Melton, Kevin Spicer, with Brightview Landscape Development, and David Jesseron, Kevin Knight, Pedro Martinez, with Knight Solutions. Project, Dwight D. Eisenhower Memorial. In the category of Sitework Landscaping, Evan Diamond, Dave Kane, Dave Pasculi, with W.H. Boyer, Inc. Project, Georgetown Day School New Lower Middle School. In the category of Sitework, Underpinning, Foundations, and Excavations, Hugh Campbell, Mark Dunn, Timothy George, Fidel Guevara, Melvin Maldonado, David Reich, with Clark Foundations, LLC. Project, Armature Works. In the category of Sitework, Underpinning, Foundations, and Excavations, Todd Baisden, Dwight Davis, Jaime Joya, Oscar Mejia, Jacob Shea, Alberto Urrutia, with Burkle & Company Contractors, Inc. Project, Milken Institute Center for Advancing the American Dream, Phase 2. In the category of Sitework, Underpinning, Foundations, and Excavations, Paul Antonucci, Carlos Cortez, Bobby Jordan, Brandon McMillian, Randy Najarro, Scott Orr, with Keller North America. Project, The Wharf, Phase 2, Horizontal. In the category of Sitework, Underpinning, Foundations, and Excavations, Christopher Devine, Earl Grant, James Johnson, Ramon Arevalo Maldonado, Herbert Robles, Ben Welch, with Steel Foundation, LLC. Project, Collection 14. In the category of Sitework, Underpinning, Foundations, and Excavations, Nate Barksdale, Tony Franklin, Ryan Noel, Chris Paskovich, Kevin Randall, Peter Shirley, with Clark Foundations, LLC. Project, Story Park. In the category of Sitework, Utilities, Walter Funes, Lee Himes, Buck Nail, Jose Sanchez, Carl Joe Stottlemyre, David Thornton III, with Deneau Construction, Inc. Project, KP Rockville Regional Lab.
Let's take a moment to view the final video segment showcasing this year's Star Award nominees in the categories of Finishes, Drywall, Morgan State University's new Student Services Center, and Special Construction, Steel, Structural Steel, Resting Gateway.
Marshall was contracted to furnish and install structural and non-structural metal stud framing, acoustical and thermal insulation, gypsum wallboard, fire stopping, acoustical, and specialty ceilings, as well as rough carpentry. This architectural masterpiece is the latest addition to the Morgan State University's 152-year-old campus. The Tyler Hall consists of a 5-story, 139,000 square foot structure. The structure also incorporates architectural elements like stone, metal panels, and glazing to maximize the natural light and achieve visually stunning appearance. This project was designed and achieved LEED Silver certification. Our portion of the project took just under 2 years to complete. Going into this project, we knew it would be difficult, but we truly didn't comprehend the complexity of its design intent based off the two-dimensional drawings that we were provided and how this would all play out with an aggressive schedule. We had to assemble the best team possible to tackle the challenges this project was going to present. So our first challenge was layout. So we had to request carte blanche approach to design of our framing. We utilized mathematical equations when possible, our total station robotic layout tool, a ton of man hours, and our talented team coordinating our framing members to ensure we achieved the obscure angles, complex radiuses, and ever-changing pitches that the architect was attempting to represent on the drawings. Our next challenges were gypsum wallboard and finishing installations. With the help of some of the best hangers, finishers, and finished carpenters in the industry, we were able to provide what most would have thought was nearly impossible. The amount of time, precision, and commitment that went into the execution of this work embodies everything you could expect from a true master craftsperson. Commercial Interiors and the entire project team are so proud of the way this project turned out and hope that everyone that has the opportunity to visit this building enjoys what they see.
Hi, my name's Mike Riesinger. I work with Clark Construction. We're the general contractor on the project. I can just do big picture. So Reston Gateway is the project. What we're seeing today is called the connector floor, a floor 77 feet-ish above grade that connects both towers. It's a structural steel superstructure with some unique design elements. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of big picture what we're looking at today.
We're about 108, 110 foot of structural steel, about 106 bearing to bearing on the structure up there. What makes this structure unique to other connector bridges that you'll see around, the engineer went with a king post support under the bottom. In effect, a lot of bridges have a support over the top in either a truss configuration or a cable bridge supports. In this project, they flipped it over. So that long, tall post going down is in effect holding up the spine. So there's 4 foot of planters on the roof of the thing, and then all of the tile and all the other things that the finished concrete and all that. So we had to monitor, Clark and Berlin had to monitor the deflection as it went.
The shoring supported each truss independently as they built it.
Okay.
But then they also, if you drove by here when we were doing this, that whole thing was scaffolded so that we could build the very custom soffit that you're getting ready to look at.
So the shoring held the structure up. At about the 6-week point, we started putting the load onto the rods. We had a tower crane out here that we did all the erection with.
Each truss is designed with redundancy. If one rod were to fail, there would be deflection. However, it wouldn't collapse. So that's an interesting design perspective. I think what's important too is everything you see, all the tabs and the beams that are hidden by the soffit, all that was planned, fabricated, kind of ready, but everything kind of from a fit and finish went together as planned.
We can stand here now knowing that it's going to stay here long after Mike and I are gone. Yep. At least when I'm retired. I don't know how much longer Mike's got at it. But.
We would like to now recognize our last set of award winners in the special construction and woods and plastic categories. This final segment is sponsored by Gaithersburg Architectural Millwork and Varco Mac.
In the category of special construction, elevators, escalators, and other conveying systems, Peter Boyle III, Tim Edel, Darius Humphreys, Daniel Mitchell, Thomas Gene Thompson. Matthew Wagner, with Cone Inc. Project, Martin Luther King Jr. Library Modernization. In the category of Special Construction, Historic Preservation, Jose Mejia Aguilar, Francisco Castro, Victor Castro, Jose Antonio Escamilla, Manuel Rial Pérez, Nelson Portillo, with Lorton Stone LLC. Project U.S. Capitol South. In the category of Special Construction, Process Mechanical, Crystal Beltran, Victor Cojocari, Angel Fortner, Austin Hahn, Tommy Rice, Roscoe Waller, with Clark Water. Project Little Patuxent Water Reclamation Plant Biosolids Upgrade, Edition Number 8. In the category of Special Construction, Roofing, Chris Brown, Luis Flores, David Inwald, Vern Quesenberry, with Rough Roofers. Project Corpus Christi Catholic Church. In the category of Special Construction, Scaffolding and Rigging, Christian Contreras, Joe Curry, David Hausler, Randy Hennessy, John McErling, Levi Rivera, with Brand Safway Services, LLC. Project National Gallery of Art, Work Area 9.3 Improvements. In the category of Special Construction, Scaffolding and Rigging, Benji Coffey, Eric Guthrie, Paul Richardson, Raul Ruiz, Thomas Webb, Dennis Wilson, with Scaffold Resource LLC. Project Renewal of the Great Flight Bird Aviary at the National Zoo. In the category of Special Construction, Sinkhole, Hector Castro, Luis Guerro, Marco Guerro, Octavio Hernandez, Oscar Morales, Jose Sarabia, with Anchor Construction Corp. Project 1810 Irving Street, Northwest DC, Water Sinkhole. In the category of Special Construction, Stone Carving, Nicholas Benson, Andrew Del Gallo, Sebastian Martorana, Paul Russo, with the John Stevens Shop. Project Dwight D. Eisenhower Memorial. In the category of Special Construction, Structural Steel, Kurt Decatur, Bert Fox, Mike Mason, Ralph Pridgeon, with Berlin Steel Construction Company. Project Reston Gateway. In the category of Special Construction, Thermal and Moisture Protection, Misael Argueta, Nilson Argueta, Roberto Bonilla, John Mavilla, Saul Pereira, Amol Tatilla, with HRGM Corporation. Project Martin Luther King Jr. Library Modernization. In the category of Special Construction, Thermal and Moisture Protection, Elmer Amaya, Maria Arevalo, Fernando Duran, Kerin Duran, Valente Gonzalez, Julio Hernandez, with Prospect Waterproofing Company. Project U.S. Chamber of Commerce Building Envelope Rehabilitation. In the category of Special Construction, Thermal and Moisture Protection, Jaime Alvarez, Eddie Cruz, Juan del Cid, Osmin Palacios, William Sessoms, Juan Zuniga, with Prospect Waterproofing Company. Project Riverfront Phase 2. In the category of Woods and Plastics, Architectural Millwork. Nelson Delgadillo, Carlos Gomez, Brian Morrow, Rocio Perez, Stephen Sperling, Hung Vo, with Gaithersburg Architectural Millwork. Project Harbor Chase of Fairfax. In the category of Woods and Plastics, Architectural Millwork, Joel Kabamban, Donald Demery, Archie Dodson, Mike Gaylata, Charles Hill, Roger Parker, with Gaithersburg Architectural Millwork. Project Trove Apartments. In the category of Woods and Plastics, Architectural Millwork, Brian Cross, Justin Kraus, David Edwards, Frank Hockman, Jin Kim, Arunas Sopa, with Gaithersburg Architectural Millwork. Project Capital One. In the category of Woods and Plastics, Architectural Millwork, George Counterudis, Greg Caston, Sandro Sandra, Brad Stewart, Wendell Tercero, with IBS Millwork. Project 200 Stoval. In the category of Woods and Plastics, Architectural Millwork, Christian Pardo Berrios, Nelson Rodrigo Berrios, Cirilo Tapia Fuentes, Hugo Pardo, Pablo Condori Perlas, Ana Torres Smith, with ATS Studios LLC. Project Riverfront Phase 2. In the category of Woods and Plastics, Architectural Millwork, Christian Pardo Berrios, Nelson Rodrigo Berrios, Yuse Soto Montano, Hugo Pardo, Pablo Condori Perlas, Elmer Ferrufino Zurita, with ATS Studios LLC. Georgetown University modernization of Copley Crypt and St. William's Chapel. In the category of Woods and Plastics, Architectural Millwork, Josue Chicas, Roberto Chicas, Mike Grimes, Nelson Perez, Roger Perez, Jamie Valencia, with ISEC Inc. Project JHU APL B201. In the category of Woods and Plastics, Architectural Millwork, Carlos Escobar, Joan Manny Fretes, Billy Harp, Miguel Savillon, with ISEC Inc. and Robert Chandler, Randall Kurtz, with Premier Consultants International Inc. Project Martin Luther King Jr. Library Modernization. In the category of Woods and Plastics, Architectural Millwork, Peter Baguki, Alan Cloud, Han Nguyen, Sai Nguyen, Singh Ratana, Gary Stone, with Jefferson Millwork and Design. Project North Bethesda Center. In the category of Woods and Plastics, Architectural Millwork, Ben Graham Putter, Nick Martin, Grant McCaven, David Miller, Mike Sheets, William Stackus, with Gutierrez Studios. Project The Wilson and the Elm.
It is now time for the announcement of the 2021 Star Award winners. In 1992, the Star Awards were introduced to recognize craftsmen exhibiting the highest level of expertise in their trade. The 8 top-scoring Star Award nominees were selected from the 90 award winners this year. The nominated craftsmen achieved a level defined as exceptional in one of the Star Award categories. The 3 Star Award categories are Excellent in the Face of Adversity, Technical Excellence, and Visual Excellence. Star Award winners were selected by a panel of 3 industry professionals with expertise in different aspects of the commercial construction field. We'd like to extend a special thanks to my fellow Star Award judges, Mike Holland with Boston Properties and Greg LaRosa with Dyno Electric. We would like to take a moment to once again individually recognize the Star Award nominees.
For special construction, stone carving, Dwight D. Eisenhower Memorial. For concrete, cast-in-place concrete, District Wharf Phase 2, horizontal and parcels 6 and 7. For finishes, drywall, Morgan State University's new Student Services Center. For special construction, roofing, Corpus Christi Catholic Church. For finishes, plaster, National Park Service stabilization and restoration of Monocacy Battlefield Historic Plaster. For special construction, scaffolding and rigging, National Gallery of Artwork Area 9.3 improvements. For masonry, exterior stone, National Native American Veterans Memorial. For special construction, structural steel, Reston Gateway.
The Star Award for Excellence in the Face of Adversity goes to the National Park Service, Stabilization and Restoration of Monocacy Battlefield, Historic Plaster. Congratulations to the winning craftsmen: Ezequiel Osquiri Claros, Cirilo Tapio Fuentes, Yuke Soto Montano, Vidal Soto Quiros, Anna Torres Smith, Elmer Ferrufino Zarita, all with ATS Studios. Congratulations.
The Star Award for Technical Excellence goes to National Gallery of Artwork Area 9.3 Improvements, Scaffolding and Rigging. Congratulations to the winning craftsmen: Christian Contreras, Joe Curry, David Hausler, Randy Hennessy, John McErlin, Levi Rivera with Brand Safeway Services, LLC.
The Star Award for Visual Excellence goes to Dwight D. Eisenhower Memorial. Congratulations to the winning craftsmen: Nicholas Benson, Andrew Delgado, Sebastian Matoriana, Paul Russo with the John Stevens Shop.
Before closing, I'd like to take one last opportunity to thank everyone for joining us. It was my honor to present Joe with the outgoing Craftsmanship Chairman's gift. It's been another challenging year for everyone, and you and your team pulled off an outstanding program.
Thank you, Emerson. It has been my pleasure to serve as chairman of the WBC Craftsmanship Awards Committee.
As demonstrated throughout this presentation, our industry takes great pride in quality craftsmanship. Thank you for supporting the WBC, and thanks to everyone who made this event possible.
We look forward to seeing everyone in person next year.